Hi and welcome back to another Tech Minds video. So have you ever wanted to learn how to use a Raspberry Pi and include this awesome single board computer with ham radio? Well, this new book from Elektor titled Raspberry Pi 5 for Radio Amateurs covers lots of exciting projects that you can learn and test in the comfort of your own home. Now, if you buy the RTL-SDR V4 and book bundle, you get this awesome book and a complete RTL-SDR V4 kit, which includes a couple of telescopic antennas to get you started, along with a suction cup mount for easily mounting on windows or even a vehicle. You also get a length of coax so you can connect the SDR to the supplied antenna, and you also get this little V-style antenna center where those telescopic antennas screw into. Now, the V-style antenna center can also be mounted on top of this handy little tripod, along with the suction cup mount that I showed you a moment ago. However, if you already have amateur radio antennas installed, then obviously you can use those. Now, the RTL-SDR V4 is the latest RTL-SDR and covers from 500 kHz right up to 1.75 GHz. Now, V4 has improved HF reception using the R828D tuner chip plus 3 triplexes for HF, VHF and UHF to help eliminate out-of-band signals. Now, this is the perfect starter software-defined radio for beginners and for use with the Raspberry Pi 5. The Raspberry Pi 5 is not actually included with this book and SDR bundle, but it is available from the Elektor website if you do need to get one. Now, if you didn't know, the Raspberry Pi 5 is the latest model of Raspberry Pi that's currently on the market, and it's the most powerful Pi to date, so definitely worth going for. Now, the book itself covers installing the Raspberry Pi 5 operating system, so if you've never used one before, this will be a good reference. Also covered is useful electronics information, which will become useful for use in your ham radio hobby, covering topics of resistor color codes, capacitors, and resistive potential dividers. These are all practical applications that you can write using Python and run it on the Pi. Now, Python is a type of programming language. There are also lots of hardware-based projects that are highly detailed on how to complete and then test with the Raspberry Pi. These include FM receivers, signal generators, and even a station clock. Now, Chapter 6 covers the RTL-SDR being used on the Pi, covering a range of software that can be used directly on the Pi itself, or even configuring the Pi as an RTL-SDR server so you can connect remotely from another computer. Now, Chapter 12 covers how to install an application called Dump 1090, which is an application which uses the SDR receiver to receive aircraft position packets and then just display them in a nice table format, or even view them in real time on a map. Now, don't worry, we'll go through some of these examples very soon. Now, the book covers many examples, and if you're new to the Raspberry Pi and want to learn how to integrate it with ham radio, then there will be a chapter for you, if not all of them. Now, one of the first things that you're going to need to do is write an operating system to a micro SD card, which will be installed in the Pi 5. Now, you can follow the guide in the book for this if you've not done this before, but using the official Raspberry Pi Imager software is actually the most easiest. Now, for super fast storage access and larger capacity, you can also use SSD drives. However, that doesn't really fall into the scope of this video. Once you have your SD card imaged, you can now pop it into the Pi 5 and apply power. Now, as this bundle that I'm showing you comes with an RTL-SDR V4, it's now time to get the RTL-SDR drivers installed. Now, again, this is covered in the book, but let's just go through it now so that all the software that we use in the future is going to be supported. Now, this video clip is sped up, but here I am going through entering all of the commands that is found on page 196 of the book. You simply open a terminal window on the Pi and then type each command one by one, and at the end of it, the RTL-SDR drivers should be installed. Now, at the end of page 197, you'll find a command which can be typed into the terminal, which will test the RTL-SDR to ensure that it's seen by the Pi and that the RTL-SDR drivers are working. With the RTL-SDR working, we can now start to look at installing other compatible software. Chapter 9 of the book covers how to install and use an application called SDR Plus. Now, SDR has become popular due to the amount of devices that it supports and its multi-platform, running on Windows, Apple OS X, Linux, and of course a Raspberry Pi. Page 285 covers how to install an application called FLRig. Now, this application is like a middleman software, which sits between software applications or hardware and then software applications. Later in the video, we'll use FLRig to control SDR++ while receiving and decoding transmissions. I'll even hook up my ICOM IC7100 so that its frequency syncs nicely with the software that we're using. Now, if you're familiar with programming radios, then you may have heard of a programming application called Chirp. This covers a lot of different radios and it's multi-platform, so installing on the Pi is super simple. You can find out how to install Chirp on page 277, which is chapter 17 of the book. Now, chapter 12 covers how to install Dump 1090, which is an application that talks directly to the RTL-SDR and tunes it automatically to a frequency of 1090 MHz. Now, on this frequency, you'll find packet bursts of data coming from aircraft, and Dump 1090 can decode these packets and then print them on the screen in a human-readable format. A feature of Dump 1090 outputs the data to a built-in web server, so you're able to see aircraft moving around on a map in real time. Now, Dump 1090 is a great way to start tracking aircraft and is a great way to learn about it. There is, however, better software available that you can find in videos throughout my channel. Gpredict, which is found on page 253, is an application which shows the user the position of satellites. Once installed, you can build a list of satellites and their current position will be shown on a map of the world. Gpredict also caters for frequency change or Doppler shift, meaning Gpredict can control an SDR receiver or radio transceiver's frequency and adjust it automatically as the satellite flies overhead. If you have a computer-controlled rotator, then Gpredict can also control the rotator to ensure the antennas are always pointing at the satellite that you're tracking. Now, these satellites can range from ham radio satellites or even weather satellites. HamClock installation is covered on page 273, and HamClock is an application that can be left running full screen, and it shows lots of useful information for ham radio users. Information such as solar data and grey line, and it's plotted on a map and can be extremely useful to those ham radio DX chasers. HamClock is free, just like all of the other software covered in this video and the book. PiQSO on page 269 is a QSO login application. So for those portable days out, or even in the shack, you can use PiQSO to record all of your radio contacts in a local database. Now, installing PiQSO is extremely easy, and each step is fully covered in the book. RTL Server, which is covered on page 223 of the book, actually got installed when we installed the RTL-SDR drivers and tools at the start of the video. RTL_TCP is an application that allows you to connect your RTL-SDR receiver across the network. Now, SDR++ fully supports connecting remotely to an RTL-SDR via the network using RTL-TCP. The command on how to start this and activate it is listed in the book. Chapter 15 covers an interesting application called RTL_433, and this application connects directly to the RTL-SDR that's plugged into the Pi. The application will tune the RTL-SDR to one of the ISM bands at around 434 MHz. It listens for and then decodes data packets being sent from ISM devices such as weather stations, tire pressure sensors, key fobs, and other utility meters. Now, give this a go. It's actually quite fun to be able to see what ISM devices are in your local area. However, if you live near a busy road, expect to get lots of tire pressure sensor readings that pop up on the screen. On page 282, we find installation and usage instructions for an application called QSSTV. Now, SSTV stands for Slow Scan Television, and it's a method in which to send still images using ham radio. A popular SSTV frequency is 14.230 MHz using upper sideband. Now QSST can decode these SSTV transmissions and then show you the image once it's been received. So for this test, I plugged in my ICOM 7100 radio into one of the Pi 5 ports and then used FLRig to control the 7100 via QSST. As the ICOM 7100 has a USB sound card built in, I could select the audio in and out on QSST and then change them to the ICOM 7100. Another application called FLRig, which is covered in chapter 13 of the book, allows the user to decode a whole range of digital modes. This mode being decoded here is called WeFax, which is essentially a facsimile transmission that contains weather charts for vessels out at sea. Now that's pretty cool. On page 297 of the book, you'll find instructions how to install and use an application called XDX, and this is a DX cluster client. Of course, this does need the internet, but once configured, it will show all the details on screen, such as live DX spots, which have been reported to the DX cluster by other users. So there we go, guys. If you're interested in learning more about the Pi 5 and how you can integrate it with ham radio, then this book is a pretty must-have if you've not done anything like this before. It's great for beginners and users just starting out in the Raspberry Pi rabbit hole. Now, if you're interested in getting this book along with the RTL-SDR V4 bundle, then make sure to use coupon code TechMinds for a €5 discount. Also, if you're interested in an Elektor magazine subscription, then check out the link in the description where you can get 50% off the subscription. Now, that's an exclusive deal just for TechMinds subscribers. All the links will be left down in the description of this video. Anyway, guys, hope you found that interesting. There's a lot more to the book than I've shown you in this video, so it's worth taking a look. Until the next video, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.